Hello, and welcome to the Tennessee Star Evening News Update for Thursday, July 7th, 2022. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. In the news tonight, in our lead story, new developments in the race for the hotly contested Republican nomination to represent Tennessee's 5th congressional district. Maury County Mayor Andy Ogles is calling for a special session of the Tennessee General Assembly to address the pending dismissal of more than 500 members of the Tennessee National Guard who are refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccine. And with just 10 days until early voting is set to begin in the August 4th primary, former Brigadier General Kurt Winstead's campaign declared clear momentum this morning in a statement adding that fundraising levels have topped nearly $580,000 for the quarter. This, as he and the other top-tier GOP candidates vying for the TN5 nomination prepare to face off in the first of its kind Epic Times debate next Tuesday on July the 12th. Their congressional hopefuls will discuss their positions and policy prescriptions to a subject panel of experts on a range of topics of great importance to Middle Tennessee voters. Next, the Metro Nashville Police Department suggested in a recent interview that it won't investigate abortion crimes. Don Aaron, a Metro Nashville Police Department spokesperson, told News Channel 5, "We are not abortion police," adding that there are other agencies better suited to enforce the new measure. Metro Council member Delicia Porterfield has filed a resolution supporting the police department's move to ignore the law. The move stems from Tennessee's recently passed limits on abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy that took effect after the Supreme Court overturned the 1973 decision Roe v. Wade. The law makes it a felony for doctors to perform an abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy, and the penalty is up to 15 years in prison. Meanwhile, a Tennessee National Guard source told the Tennessee Star that now more than 500 guardsmen remain without a COVID-19 vaccine past Big Army's June 30th deadlines. These are straight refusals, the source said, not guardsmen awaiting the adjudication of their request for a religious or medical waiver. We'll have this plus more from our national political editor, Neil W. McCabe, on this important, fast-moving story. Next, Chief Meteorologist Daphne DeLorean is back with her Middle Tennessee Fresh Forecast. We'll be back with this and more after these messages.
Hey y'all, Chief Meteorologist Daphne DeLorean here with the Star News Network. Hey, I just want to pop on here and say hello, say how excited I am about the Tennessee Star Evening News Update. We've been talking about it, it's finally here, and I am just delighted and so grateful to help you plan your day, rain or shine. We are smack dab in the middle of summer, and of course in Middle Tennessee, that means dangerous heat. So I will help you plan your day when it's maybe a little safer to go outside, maybe when you need to plan some indoor activities with the kiddos. And not only that, if you've been in Middle Tennessee for a while, you know this is a severe weather central area. So I love to help you keep your family safe, talk about storms, greatest threats, timeline, all of that. And you can catch all of that here. All right, my friends, I'll see you soon right back here on the Tennessee Star Evening News Update. Wishing you a wonderful day.
In our lead story tonight, two of the top contenders for the GOP nomination in the August 4th primary to represent Tennessee's 5th congressional district made some news today. In a statement obtained by the Tennessee Star, Maury County Mayor Andy Ogles, one of those candidates, called upon the Tennessee legislative leaders to immediately issue a call for a special legislative session of the Tennessee General Assembly in order to focus on reinstating any Tennessee National Guard personnel who have been dismissed for declining to accept the COVID-19 vaccines and boosters. Ogles also called for steps to be taken in order to prevent any future dismissals for the same reasons. Here's what he said, quote, "This is not only a national security issue, but it's also an issue of us standing up for our fellow Tennesseans who have answered the call to service that reflects our well-earned reputation as the volunteer state." Ogles continued, quote, "As they stand in the breach for us, at risk of life and limb, the very least we can do is stand up for them and reject the illegal mandates of the Biden administration and the disgusting threats they are making towards those who refuse to comply with their medically questionable dictates. As previously reported, several members of the Tennessee General Assembly told the Tennessee Star they would support holding a special session of the Tennessee General Assembly in order to save the jobs of National Guard members who refuse to comply with the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Notably, State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, Senate Deputy Speaker Janice Bowling, Senate Caucus Chair Ken Yeager, as well as several more senators and state representatives have made statements favorable to holding a special session in support of the Guardsmen. Another of the top contenders in the 5th Congressional District race, retired Brigadier General Kurt Winstead, released his second quarter fundraising results a week before the July 15th Federal Election Commission filing deadline, released those earlier today. For the period covering April 1st and ending June 30th, Winstead announced that he has raised $580,000. Total funds raised for his campaign now exceed $1 million from outside contributors. He's also personally loaned the campaign an additional $500,000. This will likely put Winstead in the lead on the money-raising front, but his competitors are sure to question some of the names on the contributors list. For a Republican candidate, they are likely to say, Winstead has quite a few Democrats and Washington insiders contributing to his campaign. In other news, the Epoch Times, the National Republican Women, Williamson County Young Republicans, and Davidson County Young Republicans are scheduled to host a debate for the TN5 candidates in the GOP primary with a unique format on Tuesday, July the 12th. This debate will take place at the Landmark Auditorium located at 107th Avenue North in Nashville. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the debate will begin at 6:45 p.m. It will be streamed live by Epoch Times TV across the United States. This is an important and new development in debates because the questions will be posed not by journalists, but instead by subject matter experts with national reputations, such as Gordon Chang, an expert on China, and Hans von Spakovsky, an expert on election integrity. We'll keep you posted as that develops, and we'll be there to see what happens on Tuesday. We'll be right back after these messages.
Williamson County is a unique and wonderful place. We've worked hard to get here. Our success was founded on conservative principles and common sense solutions. Gino Bolso and his wife Kathy chose our community over a quarter century ago for these reasons. Gino wants to represent us in Nashville. A rock-solid conservative, Gino will promote fiscal responsibility, common sense growth, and he will support law enforcement. Vote Gino, State Representative. Paid for by Bolso for State Representative Bob Weatherly, Treasurer.
Welcome back. The Metro Nashville Police Department suggested in a recent interview that it won't investigate abortion crimes. Quote, "We are not abortion police. We are focused on safety and quality of life in our city through community engagement, precision policing, and organizational excellence," end quote. That's what Don Aaron, Metro Nashville Police Department spokesperson, reportedly said. Quote, "There are other entities in government, particularly at the state level, that are more equipped to address issues such as this." Tennessee's abortion ban after 6 weeks of pregnancy took effect after the Supreme Court overturned the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision in its recent decision, Dobbs v. Jackson Family Health Center. The law, now here in Tennessee, makes it a felony for doctors to perform an abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy, and the penalty is up to 15 years in prison. One Nashville City Council member has been particularly outspoken against Metro Nashville Police Department enforcing the abortion law. Quote, "The police should be prioritizing violent crime. They should be prioritizing issues that are impacting the community." This from Council member Delicia Porterfield. She introduced a resolution asking the Metro Nashville Police Department to list abortion investigations as a low priority. More than half of the City Council supported the resolution. And now it's time for your Middle Tennessee Fresh Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Daphne DeLorean.
Hey y'all, Chief Meteorologist Daphne DeLorean here. Our 18th day straight of reaching at least 90 degrees. That is today, and we are not seeing any relief going into tomorrow. Daytime highs in the upper 90s. You factor in the dew points in the well into the 70s. We're talking about heat indices between 105 and 115. So that excessive heat warning remains in effect through Friday, late night, we'll say around midnight. So please limit your time outdoors. Air conditioning is going to be your best friend going through Friday. Now the good news, we do have some relief, and it's right around the corner. I promise that patience will pay off, and that's as soon as this weekend. Now the other side to it, we do have showers and storms. That's going to be the reason for cooling us down, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So if you have any outdoor plans this evening, 7 p.m., 96 degrees, so it's still hot at 7 p.m., feeling more like 105 for your feels like temperature, heat index in around 105. Your overnight low tonight, 77 degrees. Now, you've probably noticed some showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. We still have it this evening, diminishing until around midnight. Once we hit midnight, I'm expecting dry conditions. We'll have a nice little break before our next round of showers and thunderstorms knock on the door as soon as Friday. In fact, I'm expecting increasing chances throughout the afternoon and even into Friday night plans. So any outdoor plans, keep that in mind. A few of these thunderstorms could be on the stronger side. Keep that in mind. Damaging wind will be the greatest threat with some of those stronger storms. And that's going to be the greatest threat with the storms, but the main focus is still going to be the heat today and tomorrow. I mean, that's just really what I'm honing in on. But then again, by the weekend, we do have temperatures back to the upper 80s. Hey, we'll take that. It's considered a cool down with all these upper 90s, right? Okay, so we get to tomorrow evening. Again, showers and thunderstorms remain in the forecast. If you're heading out, let's say around 7 p.m. for your TGIF plans, 96 degrees tomorrow evening. So still hot, still muggy, still have that chance for showers and storms. We get to the overnight hours. The showers and storms stick around, even into Saturday. It's going to be a rainy, stormy first half of the weekend. That's going to aid, that cloud cover and rain is basically going to aid in keeping us not as hot in the upper 80s. And Sunday will be our weekend winner. So outdoor plans, a little bit better for your Sunday. Okay, so overnight low, 78 degrees for your Friday overnight. And then again, the showers and storms stick around first half of the weekend, clearing Sunday, and those temperatures remain a little bit more bearable in the upper 80s. Hey, we'll take it. With your fresh forecast for Middle Tennessee, I'm Chief Meteorologist Daphne DeLorean, wishing you a wonderful day, and hey, I'll see you right back here tomorrow.
In our final story tonight, more than 500 unvaccinated Tennessee Guardsmen have entered no-pay status, and they await the loss of health and life insurance. A Tennessee National Guard source told the Tennessee Star that more than 500 Guardsmen remain without a COVID-19 vaccine past Big Army's June 30th deadline. Quote, "The number that I got about a month ago was 400. However, I have now heard it's actually 585, the source said. These are straight refusals, the source said, not Guardsmen awaiting the adjudication of their requests for a religious or medical waiver. Those Guardsmen continue in their service until and when their causes are resolved. There are another 600 Guardsmen awaiting adjudication of their exemption requests, the source said. Each state's National Guard is an independent force under the governor's command, but its funding comes from the federal government's Title 32 funding. As part of the military's COVID-19 vaccine mandate, the Army forbids any reserve component soldier from being in a pay status drawing from Title 32. Another Tennessee National Guard member told the Star that straight refusals who insist on remaining without the COVID-19 vaccine are in a holding pattern because they are in a no-pay status. Still, the state's Adjutant General, Major General Jeff H. Holmes, has not issued the order to transfer these guardsmen formally out of their drilling or full-time status and into the inactive National Guard, part of the Army's individual ready reserve, subject to further sanction and eventual separation under current policies. Service members in the individual National Guard or the individual ready reserve remain within the Army and are available for recall, but in this status, they receive no benefits, nor are they eligible for training or promotion. Each state has its own separation bureau that has the power to dismiss National Guard members who have refused to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Star News Network national political editor Neil McCabe has this report from an attorney who says military officers on those state separation bureaus who dismiss soldiers that refuse to take the COVID-19 vaccine may find themselves in legal jeopardy for enforcing an unlawful order. Here's that report.
Big Army's June 30th deadline has passed for all members of the Army National Guard to receive the COVID-19 vaccine, so upwards of 40,000 guardsmen, including more than 500 in Tennessee, are on the block. The Tennessee Star and the Star News Network spoke to attorney Sean Timmons, a former Army JAG lawyer, about how officers facilitating the involuntary separations could be charged with issuing or following an unlawful order.
The vaccine enforcement policy is creating a lot of activity by senior military members where they're engaged in unlawful actions and engaged in unlawful behavior that could result in prosecution and liability down the road if the political climate were to change. And the problem with enforcement is the courts are extremely deferential to anything the military does.
The former Army JAG officer said the United States is party to legally binding treaties consistent with the Nuremberg Code that prohibits forcing individuals to participate in experimental medicine.
The Convention on Human Rights and Biomedicine was signed in 1997. There's several treaties that exist when it comes to human rights and medicine, and many of these treaties are enforceable pursuant to international law, as America is a signatory of several of them.
Military leaders could be held accountable if they willfully ignored those treaties, he said.
That there could be, repercussions for individuals enforcing something that's unlawful in violation of international law. That would need, unfortunately, I believe, the executive branch and most of Congress is kind of complicit in ignoring the statutory guidelines that would flow from complying with the treaties.
Service members do not lose their right of conscience, he said.
Individuals don't lose your First Amendment free exercise to your religion's right when you join the military. Your freedoms are, limited to some extent contractually, but you still maintain your right to practice your faith, and that's not something contractually you can sign away.
Reporting for the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network, Neil W. McCabe, Washington.
We'll keep you posted on that story as it develops. Well, that's the news tonight for the Tennessee Star Evening News Update, Thursday, July 7th, 2022. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. I'll see you on the radio tomorrow morning from 5 a.m. to 8 on Talk Radio 98.3 and 1510 WLAC.